Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our online video class. This is 10th standard chemistry, unit 8, periodic classification element lesson. In our previous section, already discussed metallurgy of aluminium. Once again, recall ore of aluminium. There are three ores available in aluminium. The first ore name is bauxite. What is the bauxite formula? Al2O3 2H2O. Bauxite formula Al2O3 2H2O. The next ore of aluminium is cryolite. Cryolite formula Na3AlF6. AlF6. Last ore of aluminium is corundum. Corundum formula Al2O3. Al2O3. These three are ore of aluminium. Ore of aluminium. But chief ore of aluminium is bauxite because the remaining two ore, cryolite and corundum, gives less amount of aluminium, but more amount, high amount of yield produced from bauxite. So bauxite is the chief ore of aluminium. There are two steps involved in extraction of aluminium. First process is Bayer process. Second process is Hall process. Finally, we get pure aluminium. Pure aluminium. Today we will learn about another extraction of element. Metallurgy of copper. Metallurgy of copper. Occurrence of copper. It was named as cuprum by Romans because they got it from island of Cyprus. So copper is found in native state as well as combined state. Copper occur in two states. One is native state, another one is combined state. This copper occur from island of Cyprus, so named as cuprum. Let's see ore of copper. Ore of copper. The first ore name is copper pyrites. Copper pyrites. The formula of copper pyrites CuFeS2. CuFeS2. The second ore of copper cuprite, or otherwise said to be ruby copper. The ruby copper formula Cu2O. The last ore of copper is copper glance. The copper glance formula Cu2S. These are ore of copper. There are three ores. One is copper pyrites, second one is cuprite or ruby copper, third one copper glance. The chief ore of copper is copper pyrites. Copper pyrites are formula CuFeS2. Its yield nearly 76% of world production of copper. It gives how many percentage of gives copper? 76%. So chief ore of copper is copper pyrites. The extraction of copper from copper pyrites involves following steps. The first step is concentration of ore. The ore is crushed and concentrated by fourth flotation process. Already we know oxide ores are concentrated by what method? Gravity separation. Sulphide ores are concentrated by what method? Fourth flotation. In the copper pyrites formula CuFeS2. So copper pyrites one of the what ore? Sulphide ore. The sulphide ores are concentrated by what method? Fourth flotation method. Copper pyrites formula CuFeS2. It contains what element? Sulphide. It is one of the sulphide ore. All sulphide ores are concentrated by what method? Fourth flotation process. So crushed ores are concentrated by what method? Fourth flotation method. This is first step. The second step is roasting. The concentrated ore is roasted in excess of air. During this process, the roasting, the moistures and volatile impurities are removed. In this process, what are the compounds are removed? moisture and volatile impurities are removed. Sulphur, phosphorus, arsenic and antimony are removed as oxides. These elements are removed by oxides. The copper pyrites partially converted into sulphides of copper and iron. Sulphides of copper and iron. During this roasting process, first removed by moisture and second one volatile impurities. What is the volatile impurities? எளிதில் ஆவியாகக்கூடிய பொருட்கள் அனைத்தும் ஆக்சைட்ஸாக ரிமூவ் செய்யப்படும். So what are the volatile impurities are removed? Sulphide, sulphur, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. These four elements are volatile impurities. These volatile impurities are removed as oxides. So sulphur oxide, phosphorus oxide, antimony oxide, arsenic oxides. So the four main volatile impurities are removed by what process? Roasting process. Roasting process. Copper pyrites. The copper pyrites formula CuFeS2. This CuFeS2 copper pyrites is roasting with excess of air. The copper pyrites partially converted into sulphides of copper and iron. Sulphides of copper and sulphides of iron. Sulphides of copper formula CuTS. Iron sulphide formula FeS. Remaining sulphurs are removed by the sulphur. In this process, the impurities contain sulphur. Volatile impurity is sulphur. The sulphur removed by gas. What gas? Sulphur dioxide. What is the formula of sulphur dioxide? SO2. The above arrow mark indicate what? This compound is easily gaseous state. Easily volatile impurities. In this process contains what volatile impurities present? Sulphur. Sulphur easily converted into sulphur dioxide. What is the formula of sulphur dioxide? SO2. This is roasting process. In this roasting process, moistures and volatile impurities are removed. What are the volatile impurities present? Sulphur, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. These are removed by what? Oxides. Oxide substance. In this copper pyrites partially converted into sulphides of copper and sulphides of iron. Sulphides of copper formula CuTS. Sulphides of iron formula FeS. The remaining impurity is sulphur dioxide. Sulphur dioxide formula SO2. This is second process. The third process is smelting process. The roasted ore. The second step ore is mixed with powdered coke and sand. The second step ore. What is the second step? Roasting method. Roasting method ores are mixed with powdered coke and sand and is heated in a blast furnace to obtain matte and slag. What is the formula of matte? CuTS and FeS. This combination is called as matte. Important one more question. Matte formula Cu2S and plus FeS. These combined substances are called matte. And slag. The slag is removed as a waste component. The second step ore is mixed with powdered coke and sand and heated with a blast furnace to obtain matte and slag. What is the formula of matte? Matte is the combination of two substances. One is FeS, Fe2S and FeS. Cu2S and FeS. These the two compounds is called as matte and contains some slag. Slag is one of the waste compound. In this process, the slag is removed. This is third step. First step is concentration. Second step is roasting. Third one smelting. The fourth step is Bessemerisation. The fourth step of extraction of copper is Bessemerisation. The molten matte. That is third step ore. Is matte. What is the matte formula? Cu2S and FeS. This is combination of matte. This mixture is called matte. This matte is transferred into Bessemer converter in order to obtain blister copper. Already we know Third step contains iron sulphide of iron, sulphide of copper. The sulphide of iron is ferrous sulphide, ferrous sulphide. The ferrous sulphide from matte is oxidized to ferrous oxide, which is removed as a slag using silica. The ferrous oxide, one of the slag, that is impurities. These impurities removed by using slag, using silica. What is the equation? FeS. FeS is the ferrous sulphide. Ferrous sulphide react with oxygen to form ferrous oxide. One of the volatile impurities are removed. What volatile impurities are present? Sulphide. So SO2, sulfur dioxide gas is removed. The ferrous oxide also react with silicon dioxide. Silicon dioxide combined to form FeSiO3. This is one of the slag. That is iron silicate. Iron silicate is the collection of impurities. This collection of impurities is removed by what process? Bessemerisation. First, sulphide of iron. Sulphide of ions are converted into sulphide of oxide. The sulphide of iron converted into sulphide of oxide. FeS is the sulphide of iron. This sulphide of iron converted into oxide of iron. This oxide of iron react with silica. One of the silica substance is silicon dioxide. Silicon dioxide formula SiO2. The silicon dioxide react with FeO to form a slag substance. This is one of the impurities. These impurities are removed by using slag. The impurity's name is iron silicate. The second sulphide ore is copper sulphide. Copper sulphide formula Cu2S. React with same oxygen to form a copper oxide. The copper oxide formula Cu2O. One of the impurities is removed. What impurities? Sulfur dioxide. What is the formula of sulfur dioxide? SO2. The SO2s are, this is one of the volatile impurities, easily removed. Same, the copper oxide react with copper sulphide. Copper oxide react with copper sulphide to form a copper and sulfur dioxide. Impurities, one of the impurities removed, sulfur dioxide. The last equation contains how many coppers? 4 plus 2, 6 copper. This is blister copper. So the impurities, what impurities? Sulphide impurities are removed by what method? Bessemerisation method. This is fourth step. Fourth step contains only for blister copper. The last equation, copper oxide react with copper sulphide to form a copper plus 6 moles of copper and SO2, sulfur dioxide. In fourth step, the volatile impurities. What volatile impurities? Sulfur impurities, volatile impurities are completely removed. Finally, we get blister copper. Blister copper formula blister copper. We get blister copper. The fifth step is refining. The blister copper contains 98% pure copper and 2% impurities. What is the combination of blister copper? Blister copper contains 98% pure copper, and 2% impurities. This is called blister copper. And this is purified by electrolytic refining. This is what method? Fifth step, electrolytic refining. The electrolytic refining, 98% blister copper contain 98% pure copper and 2% impurities. The 2% impurities are removed by what method? Electrolytic refining. This method is used to get metal of high degree of purity. That is 100% pure metal. For electrolytic refining of copper, we use cathode, anode and electrolyte. Who act as a cathode? The thin plate of pure copper metal act as a cathode. The thin plate of pure copper metal act as a cathode. Anode. The block of impure copper metal act as a anode. Next one, electrolyte. Copper sulphide solution. Copper sulphide solution acidified with sulfuric acid. Copper sulphide solution formula CuSO4. Sulfuric acid formula H2SO4. Already we know king of chemical is sulfuric acid. The acidified sulfuric acid means H plus. Acidify means H plus. The acidified sulfuric acid and copper sulphide solution act as the electrolyte. These cathode anodes are dipped in electrolyte solution. Electrolyte solution. When electric current is passed through the electrolytic solution, pure copper get deposited at the cathode. Pure copper deposit at cathode. And impurities settled at the bottom of anode. Impurities are settled at the bottom of the anode in the form at sludge called anode mud. When electric current pass through the what solution? Electrolytic solution. Electrolytic solution contains what are the substances? Copper sulphate and sulfuric acidified sulfuric acid. In this electrolytic solution, we pass through the electric current. Pure copper settled at the deposited cathode, and impurities are settled at the bottom of the anode. This is electrolytic refining of copper. In this step, we get 100% pure copper. 100% pure copper, because blister copper contain 98% pure copper, 2% impurities. These 2% impurities are removed by what method? Electrolytic refining. The extraction of copper contains 5 steps. First one, concentration. One achieve 4 is copper barrier. Copper barrier is one of the sulphide ore. Sulphide ores are concentrated by 4th rotation. Second step is roasting. Volatile impurities are easily removed. Third one is smelting process. Fourth one, Bessemerisation. The fifth one, electrolytic refine. The electrolytic refining, finally we get 100% pure copper. Let's see physical properties of copper. Copper is a reddish brown metal. Important one more question. Copper is a what color? Reddish brown metal. With high lustres and high density. Already we know copper is one of the high density nature and high melting point. What is the melting point value? 1356 degrees Celsius. 1356 degrees Celsius. One more question. Melting point of copper is 1356 degrees Celsius. What is the copper color? Copper is a which color? Reddish brown metal. These are physical properties of copper. Dear students, this is electrolytic refining of copper. There are 5 steps involved. One is concentration, second one roasting, third one smelting, fourth one Bessemerisation, fifth one refining. The 5 steps are involved in extraction of copper. We get 100% pure copper. The pure copper obtained from what ore? Copper byrus. What is the formula of copper byrus? FeS2. Copper byrus formula CuFeS2. This is one of the what ore? Sulphide ore. All sulphide ores are concentrated by what method? Fourth flotation method. Note the assignment question. The first one, blister copper. Define blister copper. The first 3 lines. What are the components present in blister copper? 98% is pure copper and 2% impurities contains substance are called blister copper. This is the answer of define blister copper. The second question is, what is matte? Matte is mixture of two substances, Cu2S and Fes. This mixture of compounds is called as matte. Third question, write the ore of copper. This is the answer of ore of copper. There are 3 ores ore of copper is available. One is copper byrus, second one cuprite, third one copper glance. This is the answer of ore of copper. There are 3 ores available. Write the ore of coppers. Note the assignment question. Learn this today's topics. Thank you, students.